Well, Tim's not here, but still. Welcome to another episode of Who's Nerds Podcast. We got Mikey and the two Krises.
Hello.
I had a joke lined up I was going to tell. I'm not going to lie. I had a joke thought up. I thought about it on the toilet, but now I can't think about it.
Well,
I must have flushed it away like my
Did you
poop.
look down and laugh?
You have to
Yep.
go. That's the thinking throne. You have
It
to
is
go
the
back.
thinking throne.
You have to go back and sit down on it. Then you'll remember.
Don't threaten me. I got a wireless headset. I'll give you guys a nice live stream.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I do remember what I wanted to talk about. Okay, I'm just writing it down on our itinerary, because we're professionals and have itineraries about what we're going to talk about. We don't ever go into these things, completely unprepared. Just like I never make our podcast descriptions or titles with AI. I would never do such a thing.
Yeah, you got to cut that out. What a bunch of BS.
It's never been that bad, but then I went back and read it when you screenshot it. I was like, shit, that's bad. Anyways, let's start with Chris's weird theory about Jason Voorhees.
Okay, so I was watching Friday the 13th part 8 tonight when I got interrupted, so I didn't get to finish it yet. That's when he takes Manhattan. So I've watched 7 of these movies, full movies, right?
Did you watch? Hold on. Have you watched The One Where He's in Space yet?
No, I haven't got there.
Okay.
That's Jason X. So.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't know that. Hold on.
You didn't know he went to space?
No.
Oh yeah, Jason went to
That's
space.
a good one. That's actually really
underappreciated. Good one, yeah.
So he did it. He did it before. That name just escaped me.
Elon?
No. Dom Toretto.
Yes, he did do it before Dominic Toretto. And Ludacris. And
he didn't need a Fierro and
he didn't have Fierro either. Like he went to space. It's a good one. That one and Jason Goes to Hell both were good ones. Actually, this came out of
a lot of those crossover movies are very good.
The early 90s Jasons were good. The 80s, they're all... I'm in the 80s now, so I'm in Jason Takes Manhattan, which is 89. So Friday the 13th, the first one came out in 1980. So they put out 8 movies in 9 years.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, almost
they were pumping them out.
They were. And it's the same thing. It's teenagers go to Camp Crystal Lake and get hacked up to pieces. Now, sorry, because I don't want to cough. I had to take a drink. This is my theory. So, all Jason wants to do is live at Camp Crystal Lake, right? He doesn't bother anybody. He doesn't leave Camp Crystal Lake ever, does he? Really?
Except when he goes to space
or Manhattan. But there's a reason why I haven't gotten to Jason Goes to Manhattan. Or, I mean, he's on a boat, but that's because people went into Camp Crystal Lake. But here's my theory. So he all he wants to do is live at Camp Crystal Lake. He doesn't bother anybody, and all these people just keep coming to Camp Crystal Lake, right? And in my opinion, he was already a disabled kid, right? When he got drowned in the lake in the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the third one, he takes a machete to the head or an axe to the head. Okay, that's going to cause some brain damage, right?
That causes some damage.
But he's still alive. But I think he kills people. I think he's just a disabled conservative who just wants people off of his lawn. Like, don't bother him. Don't come here. Don't be hippie. Coming in here, having sex, drinking beer. That's essentially every Jason.
No premarital sex in my house.
That's what that is. The first 7 movies. That is exactly what goes on. The premise is cabin at the lake, lots of sex, drinking beer, smoking some weed here and there, and going skinny dipping in the lake. And by the 6th one,
damn hippies.
So the 6th one, he's already dead, right? They killed him, so they think it's safe. But is it ever really safe? Like, would you still go to where a mass murderer had wiped out a bunch of teenage kids. Never.
Yeah. Cheaper prices. Think of how cheap those rates are for the cabin.
But by the sixth one, some guy unburies like he wants to like make sure he's dead and chop him up and stuff. So he stabs him with this metal rod. Boom, hits by lightning. He comes back to life because of electricity. And that made sense to me. It really did. I got that. By the seventh one, it was telekinesis. This girl accidentally, mistakenly awoken him from the lake because he was buried underwater. And then in Jason Takes Manhattan, these hippie kids with their expensive boats, because he hates liberals. That's why he's wiping out people. I think these kids are all liberals. Because it was this rich kid with his daddy's boat. They come into Camp Crystal Lake. They set the anchor. The anchor hits this electrical wire underneath. Boom, electricity brings him back to life. So I think once he comes back to life, I think it circles all the way back to previous movies where he hates liberals on his property. And so he's just going to kill them all. And I can't say as I blame him. I don't want a bunch of kids running around having sex in my property either.
Just think, if they get hurt, that's on you. That's your property. Then they can sue you.
Not if you kill them.
Exactly.
And
hide their body in the lake.
I mean, if they want to get, and here's the thing: all the townspeople, they know about this. Plus, the police department knows about this. Why aren't they putting up just like in Jurassic Park? Like they put up a big fence enclosure, electrical fence enclosure around Camp Crystal Lake to keep Jason in there and to keep horny ass teenagers out.
Because just like in Jurassic Park, life finds a way. Horny teenagers find a way.
Then they deserve to die. If they've crossed that electrical fence, then they deserve to die. You know, all responsibilities on them. Sign an indemnity form. But you can't blame Jason. I mean, honestly, he's got squatters' rights. So he has 30 days to leave the property if somebody wants him off of it. He still has 30 days. Nobody has presented him with paperwork about squatters' rights. So technically, he's just living in this world where it's the same time. Every time he wakes up, it's the same horny teenagers that deserve to die because they're on his property unwelcomed. And they are unwelcomed on his property. He didn't invite them. So he does have a right to kill them because it's self-defense. Well, he thinks it's self-defense because he's crazy. Because he's already disabled. He's had an axe to the forehead.
He took an axe to the face.
He did take an axe to the face, which is why he wears a hockey mask. I can't really blame him, you know. Plus, it kind of looks cool. So I'm kind of feeling sorry for Jason Voorhees, and I think he's just an old conservative, stay off his, get off my lawn kind of situation. You know, Leave him alone. Don't go up there. Don't bother him. You don't have to go. There's a billion lakes in America. You could go skinny dipping in and tease your boyfriend, and you don't have to go into that one and get hacked to pieces. But they still do. There's something about Camp Crystal Lake that teenagers want to go.
It's the drugs.
It's got to be the drugs. It's pot. All on dope. Plus, he goes to Manhattan and kills people. What's Manhattan full of? Liberals. He hates liberals. So that's why I say he's a conservative. He hates rich-ass kids in their cars coming up there bothering him. So they're all liberal kids, They don't care. They don't have any respect for anybody. So guess what? We're cutting your balls off with this, this lawn tool. And it's pretty cool. He had this thing earlier. It's one of those big, it had like a circular saw on the end of it, right? And it was at the end of this really long pole. And it was like it started up like a chainsaw. It was pretty awesome. So I'm rooting for Jason now. That's just my theory on it. Whether you want to believe it or not, it's real.
If he wants to live at the camp, why does he go to Manhattan?
Because this is what happens. hippie kids, the hippie rich kids on the boat, they come into Camp Crystal Lake and drop the anchor and electrocute water to bring him to life. He climbs on their boat. So when he climbs on their boat, it goes to this dock where he gets on this other boat, and because it's full of rich kids that deserve to die. So that boat goes to Manhattan. So he chases the survivors of that boat around Manhattan to kill them. That's why he ends up in Manhattan. But I'm halfway through the movie and they ain't even in Manhattan.
That's a ridiculous concept, but okay.
The space isn't ridiculous. I ain't figured that one out because I forget how it goes, and that's 9, I think, or is that 10? Jason Goes to Hell is 9, I think, and 10.
What did you do in hell? Did he start killing demons?
No, he goes to hell
To kill the kids he already killed?
to kill. No, he goes to hell because he goes to hell. Oh my God! Because he kills people.
Because he wasn't a good
kill
person.
people, you go to hell.
Well, I thought like he went to hell and was starting to kill stuff because he was sent to hell.
Hold on, I'll tell you which one it is. It is. Let's see here. The New Blood is 88. 89 is Jason Takes Manhattan. Freddy versus Jason. That's the last one. Jason X is 2000. Jason Goes to Hell is 1993, which is then Jason X. That's when he goes to space. That's 2001. He's cryogenically frozen at the beginning of the 21st century and is discovered in the 25th century and taken to space. He gets thawed and we get stuck in and killing the crew of the spaceship that's transported. Yes! He's cryogenically frozen in a government facility on Camp Crystal. See, there you go. So use it for the government. They're all crooked. They deserve to die. Not that I would say that.
They're all liberals.
They're all liberals. Not that I'm just joking when I say that.
It's just a joke. It's just
What
a
is it
joke.
called? The
FBI.
FBI. I know you're listening.
ATF.
Here come knock my door down.
Whichever alphabet boy is listening to us.
Yeah, we're totally not serious. Yeah, I'm in 9. Or I'm in 8. 8. Jason Takes. That was in 1989. Then Jason Goes to Hell is 1993. So they did take some time off between 8 and 9. And they're perfectly timed movies. They're about 90 minutes long, all of them. So
there's only so much you can like film of a guy with the big sword walking slow towards you, you know.
Yeah, you can only spend 7 movies at a camp before you got to get off of it and go
just like you can only spend so many movies on Earth until family had to take you to space.
Yep.
Space, they cryogenically, they froze Walt Disney. Why can't they freeze Jason?
Didn't they only freeze his head?
That's the theory. The theory is that they froze his head. They did the same thing to Ted Williams. They said they cryogenically froze his head too.
Like
your
head's chopped off. You're dead.
And the reason, he was dead anyway. He died of cancer. He was a smoker. Walt Disney. The theory behind Frozen is they called the movie Frozen. So when you Googled Frozen and Disney, the movie would come up instead of Walt's, dead ass over.
I remember that, and then that movie just blew up. So now you'll never get that theory again.
You'll never get the theory again because that was the thing. They said it was buried under the castle at Disney World or Disneyland or something.
I thought it was Disney World.
It might be Disney World because it opened right. He died in what, like 66 or so?
Yeah, I think so.
In 70, 71, 72, 68, 72. I
don't know.
72 or 73. Walt Disney World. But Yeah, so they should have just completely froze one. But I don't know how they're going to do that because I think like when you die, like your soul leaves your body. So how you can bring that back after 50 years? I don't know. It's like the face-off machine, maybe they can attach his head. I mean, I saw Frankenhooker. So you can attach a girl's head to the body of somebody else and come to life. Frankenstein did the same thing.
Wait, Frankenhooker. So the body isn't a hot girl.
No, the body is a bunch of hot girls put together.
Oh, okay.
The guy put the head of his girlfriend on the body of a bunch of hookers because he had this drug and they all exploded. Their bodies exploded. So the mad doctor took the body parts of all the hookers and made one woman and put his girlfriend's head on top of it. She died in a lawn mowing accident.
And her head was the only thing that was redeemable.
He saved her head because he wanted to marry her.
Maybe that's the only good part. I mean, he was only looking at her for her looks.
She got ran over because he got her father a lawnmower with a remote control, and she was showing him how to use the remote control, and she ran over herself with the lawn. She died.
Wait, is that the one with the haunted lawnmower?
No, that's Blades.
Oh, you watch so many movies, I can't keep track of them sometimes.
Frankenhooker is getting ran over by a lawnmower and dying, and saving your head and putting various body parts from hookers from New York City together.
But Blades is a haunted lawnmower that runs over people.
Yes, that is true. Blades is a haunted.
Two different movies.
Yes, and Frankenhooker is much better than Blades. Just so it is.
Oh, Kris, what's your? Do you have another movie lined up to be your not buster? You haven't done one in a minute.
I haven't, not since I was doing the horror movies. I still got those on the list. I just haven't watched one lately. I just need to because I've been watching Friday the 13th when they take them off of HBO. But I've got some on the Peacock list. Yeah, there is one I want to watch. Actually, it is called. It has to do with something like or something. Hang on. I'm looking at my list now. Black Roses is what I want to watch because that's about kids that get possessed while listening to rock and roll. Or my life as a teenager in the 80s. Let's see here. It has to do with like Bloodhook. That's it. Bloodhook is what I want to watch. It's about fishing.
Oh, I thought it would be another like bloody hooker movie.
I'll just look this up before I watch it, just as a little sneak peek. Bloodhook came out in 1986. During a local fishing contest, people are violently dragged into the lake and killed by a giant fishhook. It's time for the annual Muskie Madness fishing contest. There you go. It's a giant fish coming out of the water killing people. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Wow.
Holy shit, it's directed by Jim Mallon.
Who?
Jim Mallon. He's a writer, producer for Mystery Science Theater 3000, the original TV show.
So was this like his first like shot at it where he's trying to be serious, or is this?
It's a comedy / horror movie.
Okay, so it just wasn't taking itself seriously to begin
No,
with.
it's not taking itself seriously. But wow,
Okay.
I'm surprised. Yeah. He was the producer of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Good man. The one in the same.
Now you can look forward to it a little more.
Now I'm looking forward to it even more. So there you go. More you know.
The more you coals.
Looking forward to But that's the next one I got lined up. I might watch it this week. I don't have anything going on till Monday, so I'll be able to do that.
That's cool.
Do we want to get our sports talk out of the way?
Sure.
Hold on.
Oh, okay, Mikey.
I'm just sitting here listening to him, and I also was scrolling Twitter or X, and I saw the trailer for the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it looks good.
Frozen Empire. Very interesting. It was like my first thought was like it was like that the day after tomorrow.
But that's
where,
not.
Yeah, that's an underrated movie.
Yeah, but like, how do they determine this is ghosts and not some type of weather thing? Like, I guess there's a big cloud, but still, I'm not listen. I didn't listen to it. I'm just watching it. But
I mean, that's a good question. How did we end up? You know, is it something?
I thought we stopped the apocalypse in the last one, but how does it happen?
Yeah.
Well, it's like Judgment Day. It's inevitable. Judgment Day will always happen. The T-1000 is always going to show up.
It's cool though, but because you get a glimpse of Bill Murray and those other guys.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
What about the they bring the ladies back?
No,
that's what I was thinking too. I was like,
no.
that's not good when they make a sequel to the ones with the kids in it and not the ones with the girls.
They act like I bet they even act like that movie never even happened.
And you can't say, and
it's
you
like
cannot say
non-canon.
that.
It's like Dragon Ball GT non-canon.
Oh God, we don't talk about GT.
And you can't say that it's because it sucks because it had women in it, because that little girl that's in Ghostbusters really carried that first movie.
Well,
you know what I'm talking about?
It's the whole South Park episode. You can't just replace the character, you know. And then they're like, well, these characters did good. Well, because they were well written characters who had development. They weren't just making Cartman gay, girl and gay.
Right. McKenna Grace, that's her name. She was in Young Sheldon. She's a really good actress.
She's really good in that movie. I liked her.
Yeah, she's really good in that movie. I think
because you know why? She was well written and developed.
Exactly. That's exactly right. She wasn't trying to replace anybody. She was the granddaughter of a Ghostbuster. You know what I mean?
Right, that's really good development right there. It brings in the old and it establishes new fans.
It's great. It's great because she wore the glasses like he did. She had the curly hair like he did.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great move. She's a funny little actress. She's a good actress. She's in this one, and then the kid from Stranger Things is in it too. So
is it mostly the same cast
from the last one? Yes.
Yeah, it looks that way.
I didn't really watch. I watched the trailer, but I didn't watch it. If you know what I mean.
No.
As in, like,
explain yourself.
I watched it. I played it, but I wasn't paying attention enough. Like I was.
Okay, there you go.
I was distracted at the same time.
It looks entertaining. I'll probably go see it.
I mean, I'll see it, but
yeah,
I hate to say it. I'm just not. Ghostbusters doesn't get me invested like a lot of other movies do.
I saw the original at the movie.
No, it's. I'm a big believer that Ghostbusters is one of those movies that should have stayed in the 80s and not been remade. But because Hollywood can't come up with their own ideas anymore, here we are.
But it wasn't remade technically. It's an ongoing from the original.
But you know what I mean. It should have stayed an 80s classic and not been revived.
Well, I mean, they did that with Star Wars.
It's a Jason Reitman movie, though. His dad did the original.
I don't know. I'm just not invested in it. I'm just not invested in it like I am Star Wars or Star Trek.
Well, you could say the same thing about Star Wars.
But Star Wars was still living at the time because they had the prequel trilogy, they
Oh
had the
my god!
cartoons, they had the games, they had the books, they had the comic books. Ghostbusters was effectively dead until they
No, it
made
wasn't. They had the cartoon.
No, you can say they had to wait a certain amount of time for, like, in real time to pass to make it
Right.
seem like, I mean, the original crew got older and they had kids and stuff. Like, they passed down.
And would it have been a story had not he died? What's his name?
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Well, they would have changed the story.
It would have been, yeah, but would it have been the kids? And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it
I'm
probably
sure they
still
did
would have
that
been
one.
kids or something. They probably would have written it in that somebody died.
Harold Ramis. If Harold Ramis hadn't have died, would there have been a sequel? As we know it, the good one, not the shitty ass one. Nobody wants to talk about the most.
I'm sure
actor.
they still would have done it. They would have done it differently, but
But
yeah, they would.
I think Mikey's right. It took time. You know, it's the daughter of Peter Venkman, and it's his grandkids that he never knew. I think
They had to set up. Yeah, they had to write and set up a story that would captivate. Like Kris said, the old and the new.
Not only that.
Would still grasp the old fans and then invite newer fans to the franchise.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, they had to save face with that piece of shit they put out in 2017.
Yeah.
They were almost forced to show their hand. You know what I mean? They really had to save it. They really did. I really believe that. Part of that, I think that was part of the motivation was that they had to save the franchise. They couldn't just let that end it.
Yeah. Well, one thing I don't know if either of you know this, but one of the highlights of the Ghostbusters, I think it was like when COD 4 came out, or it was like when COD was really exploding. There was a Ghostbusters game that came out, and it was a great. And when I say great game, I mean like when you put it in like it would have won probably Game of the Year that year if it wasn't for like whatever Call of Duty it went against.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on, let me look it up. Let me look what year it came out.
I think I bet you there's fan fiction out there, Ghostbuster fan fiction. Plus, people have been
Ghostbusters, the
wearing.
video game, it came out in 2009,
Okay, so there you
and
go.
it has
So
a
it's been ongoing.
95. It has a 94% rating.
What's
Didn't
it
they
on?
make a VR one? I thought they made something like a VR.
Yeah, all VR games are kind of poopy. I wish I never bought my VR.
What platform is it?
Xbox 360, PlayStation 3.
I got a 360 still. I bet I can buy it.
I bet you could buy it too.
I'll look for it next time me and Josie go to Indianapolis.
I'm just gonna see if I can buy it right now. I'm on the Google machine.
I'm not gonna play VR until it's like that movie with the full body suit.
Oh, Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good
Don't
movie.
get me. VR is fun. It's just very gimmicky. And I've played a couple really good games for VR, and I played a few really shitty games.
Oh, I've got a story on. I got some video game news actually.
You got video game news.
Yes, Kris has video game news.
Can I talk about VR for a second?
Yeah, please go ahead. I gotta look up.
Okay. So what VR needs, VR's issue is, I think they're making the wrong type of games for it. Like it's hard to do a shooter or stuff like that because it's hard to move. Because if you're in VR, you can't really walk around your room and like into other rooms and stuff. You got to have like a motion or like a treadmill or something.
Yeah. I bet
What?
those VR rooms are nice though.
Oh yeah, those look fun. I
You can
really
move
want to
it.
do them.
Yeah.
The games I think VR needs people. Developers really need to invest in VR are like flight sim games like Flight Simulator or Elite Dangerous is a space game. Really fun in VR. I really like that game. Star Citizen probably should invest in VR support. And I also think like strategy games would be really good in VR. Like you got you got your overhead view and you're looking down like the battlefield. You can like grab your units and move them how you want. I think that'd be really
Yeah.
cool. But no
Grabbing units.
strategy games are in a really bad spot right now, where it seems like every couple of years video games kind of go in like a wave. Like one year it's sports games are like the best games. And then like 3, 4, 5 years later, it's shooters. Right now I think we're seeing the downfall of shooters and like single player games coming back. And we just gotta get back to that for me as a strategy game enjoyer, I just gotta ride the wave until it gets back to strategy games. Don't get me wrong, strategy games come out, but there's far few in between. Like Civ 6, when did Civ 6 come out? Civ 6 came out in 2016. Civ 7's not coming out for another couple years. Total War is complete shit anymore. I refuse to buy Total War games since Shogun 2. I've bought some of them, but I've refunded them every time. Humankind, it's kind of a Civ clone. It's okay. I don't mind it. It's just not Civilization. One company that's doing really good right now I know I'm going on a rant, but one company that's doing really good right now in strategy games are Paradox. Paradox Interactive makes a subset of strategy games called Grand Strategy, where it's not about controlling the battles. Like you know how in like Command and Conquer and other StarCraft, you command the battles themselves, like the actual units. In these types of games, you're controlling more of the politics, the internal affairs, the production capabilities, the trade, the foreign affairs. That's what you're controlling. Like Hearts of Iron 4, you take control of the US and you start in 1936 and lead to the end of World War II. And you focus on, hey, and you can focus on certain things like, do I want my country to focus on light tanks or medium tanks or heavy tanks? You focus on one, or hey, I can focus on all of them. And then you kind of control the more grand battle situation. You focus on all of Europe instead of the Battle of like Normandy.
Okay.
Long story short, support your strategy games and buy them if you want more strategy games. One of the granddaddies is coming out next year called Homeworld 3. Homeworld is like, I grew up on Homeworld. Like it was one of my first games I ever played, and I mean I'm beyond hyped for Homeworld 3. They have an edition on Amazon. It's like $300 that I really want to get. But you get the so Homeworld, you control what's called the mothership, and it's a scale model of the mothership that is the you get. It looks really cool.
Just be careful playing VR games around Kris, Mikey, because he likes to grab units.
Oh, okay.
That's the moral of the story.
He
Be careful
admitted
around
that.
VR
Yeah,
games.
that's all I got out of what he just said there.
Sorry, as you all know, I'm a very passionate gamer, so
Yeah.
I just kind of got lost in
good.
what I was saying and kept talking.
This is it falls into my wheelhouse, but it is a gaming storyline. It's a huge gaming storyline. So it is I'm going to read the headline here, right? The decision Penske Entertainment didn't want to make with its beleaguered video game vendor was made for it on Tuesday when Motorsports Games announced the suspension of the development of our previously planned IndyCar game to decrease operating expenses whilst also removing projects that are underperforming or unlikely to generate revenue. So, 3 years ago, IndyCar made a deal with this Motorsports Games, it's a video game company, right?
Oh, I remember you talking about this not too long ago.
They were already a shitty company to begin with. When they signed the contract, they were already a shitty company. People were like, this game's never getting off the ground. We haven't had an IndyCar game since 2005. That was the last IndyCar game, and it was on the Xbox 360. It was supposed to this game. Oh, sorry, it came out. It's supposed to be 2021. It was 2023 release. They pushed it back to 24, and now it's not even happening. Now, here's the shitty part about it. when they signed the contract with this motorsports gaming, right? They signed all the rights away and took it away from iRacing. iRacing was the biggest video game platform for Indy cars. So you cannot use IndyCar. There's still tracks, there's still cars you can race on iRacing, but you can't broadcast them on YouTube. Like that's a big deal. People watch people sim race on YouTube. You guys know that, right? But
Yeah, what's that game called?
same thing. iRacing does the same thing.
Yeah, iRacing.
But you can't do IndyCar racing on. You can't show it whatsoever on on YouTube now because it's a rights violation. So they've really screwed the pooch on this. IndyCar has by signing the rights away to this beleaguered piece of trash video game company. We still have no IndyCar video game. So right now they're hoping, but still it's going to be in, 6 months to a year before they're able to let go of the rights probably. But maybe they can give the rights back to iRacing and let those people. Like, I don't know why they went exclusive because Formula One didn't do it. NASCAR didn't do it. So, because you can still buy NASCAR games on, Xbox, PlayStation. Formula One, you can buy Xbox, PlayStation. You can do iRacing too. So, IndyCar's really screwed themselves, shot themselves in the foot, screwed the pooch. We still have no video game at all now, like zero. Like we're back to square one, getting a video game. For me to play, I'm not going to play iRacing. That's expensive. You guys,
Don't you need like full sim setup for that?
Yeah, 3 screens, 3 big screens. Then you got to have a really good chair. You got to have a really good steering wheel, and it's got to be comfortable. So you're not, you know what I mean? It's not where you're not moving around, and it can get quite expensive.
Put it on your Christmas list.
Yeah, put it on your Christmas list, Kris. You never know somebody will get it for you.
I just want a Xbox IndyCar game. That's all I want. All I ask for. Can't even get that. I could run IndyCar better than what IndyCar's right now, and I don't know jack crap about anything. All I know is I would get a video game company to make the game, and
oh goodness,
yeah, that's the very first thing I would do. I would give the rights back to iRacing, then find another video game out there to make people. Because kids can't play.
I looked up how much like a good setup for iRacing is, and it's like minimum you're gonna be spending $500.
Yeah, I want to spend that. I want a $70 IndyCar game in my Xbox controller. That's all I need. Plus, little kids can play. Little kids ain't playing iRacing. You know what I mean?
No, you have to buy like each car or something like that.
Yeah, you got to buy cars, and you got to help. You can buy setups, or you can find somebody who will share a setup. So it's not an easy deal. It's not like Forza. You know what I mean? The kids can play Forza. My nephew, his son, my great nephew, he plays Forza and stuff on the Xbox. He's not doing the iRacing. His dad does the iRacing. My nephew does iRacing. They've really, it's kind of, they're trying to grow a brand, and they can't even get a video game out. It's ridiculous.
I want to talk about F1 really quick because I've been seeing on YouTube everybody's ripping on Vegas, their Vegas circuit.
Dude, they cut down trees.
They cut down trees. They demolished stuff. They rerouted stuff. Like you can't drive down the strip right now.
You can't drive down the strip. The fountains at the Bellagio are closed off because those are grandstands now.
Yeah, you can't walk across the pedestrian bridges because they got them blocked off because it's free.
No, you can walk across them. They just have this film up where you can't see through.
Oh, you can't see anything.
Because that's half the cool. That's the cool part about crossing over is you can stop and take. You're right in the middle of the strip.
Yeah, and
especially
then
at night.
Like they're charging hotels like a fee because they're on the track, but the hotels had no say in it. No, so Go ahead.
If your hotel faces the strip and they can see the track from their room, then Formula One will charge a fee. If not, then you have to block that off if they don't want to pay it. So,
And
my
then
gosh.
I was seeing like the cheapest tickets for like the stand is running like $1,500 right now for the race, and like the race doesn't even like start until 1 a.m. local
Eastern time.
Oh, I thought it
Yeah,
was
I've got it
local.
set. I'll show you. I've got it my DVR set. I can hold on. I'll pull it up on the Xfinity app.
What is the race?
It's this weekend.
Really the F1
Yeah.
race in Vegas?
Yes. So the first practice session starts at 11:23 East. Well, 11:25 Eastern. So that's 8:25 in Vegas, right? Morning. Well, the second practice session is at 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday, which is midnight in Vegas. Can you imagine being on the strip like that? That's incredible. Qualifying is Friday night at 11:30, and then the IndyCar, I think, or maybe that's a different practice session. No, qualifying is Saturday night at. No, sorry, qualifying Saturday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is midnight in Vegas. Then the race is Sunday
Are
at 3 o'clock in the morning.
are they doing that to help like because it's more of a European sport? Are they doing it at that time so the Europeans can actually watch it?
Yeah, I mean they're saying that
I
it's
would-
cooler weather at night, but let me tell you, I've been to Vegas. I've been in the weather at 8 o'clock and at midnight, and that's like 5 degrees difference, which is still hot as balls. I mean, I don't know what the weather is now,
Exactly.
but it's at 12:53 here is the start of the race, which is 1 o'clock in the morning, right? Which is
Mhm.
what 10 o'clock in Vegas. That's insane. And weather in Vegas. Let's see what the weather's like in Vegas. I want to pull it up. Yeah, it's so they can see it in Europe is why. That's the only reason they're having it that late at night.
Mhm.
But
I want to see
like
the.
there's like local gas stations that are losing business out the ass because people can't get.
Mhm.
They could have it in the afternoon. This afternoon, the high was 66. Sunday, the high is 73 in Las Vegas. So why are we having it at night?
This is like the perfect time of year to have it in Vegas, though, like during the day.
Yeah,
They're having it at night so the European fans can watch.
But
Because
it's
let's be
the lowest-
honest, there's no real American fan that's going to watch it.
well, they're starting to lose viewers out the ass because it's not the drama that Drive to Survive makes it. It's
Yeah.
Championship's over. The guy who won championship's already dominated the series, so the championship's over.
People are realizing that it's a very uppity sport.
I could go to every IndyCar race in the season with a ticket package for the Vegas race. That's not a lie.
Even the 500.
My 500 tickets are $113.
The biggest race in the world, and it's cheaper than one F1 race.
Okay, so what I pay to go between the 500, my garage pass, which also gets me in the gate every day but race day, and the Grand Prix is I pay, so that's $260, less than $300. For less than $300, I see 2 IndyCar races, practice qualifying for the biggest race in the world and the biggest race in the world. Plus, I have access to the garage area. So, for less than $300.
So does at night, do the cars have lights on them, or will they have plenty of lights on the track?
They'll light up the strip. They've got special lights.
Yeah, I'm guessing a headlamp on those things would weigh it down too much
Yeah,
and mess with the aerodynamics.
no, they do other races at night. They race over in like in Asia. They have night races, and it's like daylight.
Huh.
But they're not catering to America. $300 may get you into a practice session in Vegas. So there's your comparison. You may get into a practice session for $300 at the Vegas race, or you can get into the whole month of May for the same amount of money. That's your comparison.
I want to know what it's going to look like after the race. Like, if it's going to be like like a city that builds like an Olympic stadium. They're just going to leave it there.
No, because it's on the strip. Like it's in front of the Bellagio. Like they have to tear out those grandstands because of the fountains at the Bellagio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more of that the hotels are gonna have to replace everything that they agreed to rip out for this race, and I bet they're gonna lose money on it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a one and done. I think it's a really bad move.
Like
it's killing local businesses. Really
like the actual like residents of Vegas have been like in an uproar, and as soon as that happens, the politicians aren't gonna let it happen again because that's their they're gonna lose votes now, and they can't have that happen.
I mean, you're killing. Like I said, like this guy lost. I think he lost already. This was like a month ago. He lost like 70% of his business at a gas station because the road was closed on.
Jeez.
And that's all local people. That's not tourism. You know what I mean?
Tourists don't drive there unless they're coming from like LA.
Right. They don't go to the gas station to get gas and cigarettes and pop and
get that. They don't get there at 3 a.m. to get their Monster Energy drink, a pack of Marlboro Reds, a lottery ticket, and a gallon of diesel or a couple gallons of diesel for work.
So I am, but yeah, it's totally their start times for practice, qualifying in the race. Say we don't care about America, but I mean they're growing in America. They're trying, but F1 is very fickle because they've got 3 races here in America, which Circuit of the Americas in Austin is still the best track because it's a purpose-built racetrack, and for $300 you could get general admission all weekend to Circuit of the Americas. So you could go all 3 days, practice, qualifying, and the race. The F1 for F1. But Michael Andretti, who raced briefly in Formula One and owns an IndyCar team, and now owns part of an IMSA team. He owns a Formula E team. He's trying to buy his way into Formula One, and they essentially say, "We really don't want your team here." They don't want them. The other race teams don't want them. So
because they're a bunch of snobs.
Because they're a bunch of Michael Andretti's like
all you got to do is look at their ticket prices, and then maybe look at Monaco, and at Monaco you have to own $1 billion yacht to even watch the race.
I mean, if I was going to a Formula, me personally, I mean, I went to the Grand Prix when it was in Indianapolis. They had it for 7 years in Indianapolis. And right now, that's going to be my only shot to go to a Grand Prix. If I were going to a Grand Prix, I could probably fly to Europe and go to a Grand Prix in like Monza in Italy or
Germany or France.
Right. I could go to an F1 race there, probably cheaper than I can here in America. Because who wants to go to Miami for a Formula One race?
If I go to Miami, I'm going to the beach.
It's hot as balls.
If I go to Vegas, I'm going to the casinos or to see a show or something.
I mean, that's the shitty part is like they shut down Vegas for like months. At this time of year, like how much are they losing whatever they're losing in tourism are they gaining for the Formula One race?
And it's not like, it's not like the Indy 500 where, thousands upon thousands of fans are flying into the area. There's not that much seating from what I can tell for this race.
No, it's a be seen kind of. It's a be seen situation.
Yeah, you're going to get all the celebrities getting their selfies, and then leaving. I wonder if somebody's going to buy a $30 Wagyu beef hamburger, and
It
it's
was
just a
$80,
slab of
not $30.
$80. My bad. Hamburger or whatever it was, and it's just like a couple slaps of ham.
Wagyu ham sandwich or whatever it was.
Yeah, it looks like something I make for lunch.
It's and Martin Brundle he calls the Formula One races for Sky Sports, and that's who America uses as Sky Sports. And he made the perfect analogy. It was Christina Aguilera, and she had her phone out and she was videotaping, and he goes, "Oh look, and there's Christina Aguilera pretending she cares about Formula One." He said that on the broadcast.
I
'Cause they
remember you
showed her
saying.
doing
I
the
remember that last year.
So that's so awesome because that's what it is. I mean, you have some fans, Matt Damon, Brad Pitt. They've been to Formula One races, and Matt Damon waved the green flag at the Indy 500, so he does like race cars. He does like racing.
Well,
There's
and
a
he also did the Ford versus Ferrari.
right, and he did Ford versus Ferrari. There are celebrities. Matt LeBlanc's a huge racing fan.
It's just like any other sport. You're gonna have your celebrity fans.
Right.
It doesn't matter. But then you're also gonna have the fake fans that are just there to be seen.
They're there to be
And now
seen.
that T Swift has made a scene to go to a Chiefs game, that's all that's happening now. You got what's his face, Deadpool there. You got Russell Crowe going too.
Russell Crowe is a race fan. He was at the 500 about 20 years ago because we saw him. He took a ride around the racetrack and he was videotaping the crowd. So he had a video camera with him. Russell Crowe did. And when
That's cool.
they took him out on the pace car, and rode him around the track
Mhm.
and videotaped the crowd. So Russell Crowe is actually a racing fan. So, George Harrison was a big Formula One fan. Talking about racing, so there are racing fans out there. There are. You can't tell which ones are fake and which ones aren't by all the celebrities they show up there. It's really difficult now.
I hate to say it, but at least in our area, racing is not as big as it used to be. Like when NASCAR was big, like you don't see people around here in Andretti shirts other than you. You don't see people in NASCAR stuff anymore.
Yeah, that ship has sailed. Yeah, go to Treasure Mart and all them places. You'll see all the NASCAR memorabilia for sale.
And it's like dirt cheap, and nobody's buying it.
Because it is dirt cheap because it's not worth anything.
And
I don't
get
buy
me wrong,
anything.
there's still fans out there. Like when the races happen in Indy, they still fill the stands. It's just
I'm kind of curious of what the crowd's going to look like for the Brickyard next year, because it's back on the oval.
mhm.
Everybody's been clamoring for the oval. We want it back on the oval. Want it back on the oval. I'm curious to see how many people show up.
Well, I gotta admit, I'm one of those NASCAR fans that when all the characters left, I left.
Oh well, that's because they're all a bunch of corporate robots now.
They're all corporate plants.
I saw a tweet, an
Monty,
X,
get out of the toilet.
whatever it was, a tweet, an X, whatever, and somebody asked a reporter that covers NASCAR who the face of NASCAR was. He didn't have an answer.
He asked him what? I'm sorry.
They asked a NASCAR reporter who the face of NASCAR was, and he didn't have an order. He didn't have an answer. I mean,
What was it? Ever since Junior retired, they don't have a face anymore.
Junior
It's not.
retired. Yeah, they all retired.
It's not like NBA. I could say LeBron or Curry, or Doncic in Dallas. Those are the three faces of the NBA. Football, it's Mahomes or Josh Allen or what's his
Oh God,
face
Josh
in
Allen's
Baltimore. But every other sport you have the face. Like baseball, who would you say the face of baseball is?
Oh, man, you got Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ohtani.
You got Aaron
Bryce
Judge.
Harper.
You got Bryce Harper. Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, the Judge. Yeah, so every sport I could name 3 or 4 people, except for hockey. But I don't really pay attention to hockey. But I'm guessing if I ask a hockey fan, they'll know. They could name him. Crosby. Crosby's a guy I know.
Sidney Crosby, probably Ovechkin. Connor Bedard's a rookie this year. He's the hottest kid to come out of the minors in a long time. So he'll be a face here pretty soon. They're in their transition now. Hockey is. We're getting a
The
lot
old-
of young up and coming.
It's kind of like where the NFL was, where all the Brady's and the Mannings and the Roethlisbergers were retiring, and now we got to get used to the new kids.
That's what hockey's in, that like transition area.
I hate that I hate that I don't like hockey until the playoffs. Playoff hockey is just something different.
Go to a game. They're so much fun.
Oh, it's the same thing with baseball. If I go to a hockey match, I would love it, but I can't watch a regular season game on TV.
Right.
Speaking of regular season, I am loving this regular season tournament for the NBA.
What is that? Other than
So-
an ugly ass.
I love that. No. Don't you be hating on that new floor
You
for
could
the
give
Pacers.
somebody who has epilepsy a freaking seizure.
Well, don't let them watch the game because I love that. I love that floor. No, basically, it's something the NBA came up with to try to drive hot. Because let's be honest, NBA doesn't matter until after Christmas. So this is like they're calling it mid-season, but it's really at the beginning of the season. It's like a little It's a tournament.
Right.
And I think Christmas Day is like the championship of who wins the tournament. And it's just like Western goes to Twin Lakes and plays in the Twin Lakes Invitational. It's just that. It's just a little tournament.
Why is the Pacers Indy? Because Indy is short for Indianapolis, not short for Indiana.
Well, it's the same thing as everybody calls us Naptown.
So call it Naptown. Don't put Indy on the uniforms.
Because nobody says Indianapolis. Everybody just says Indy.
But when you I'm going to Indy, it doesn't mean I'm going to the state of Indiana. It means I'm going to Indianapolis.
Because it's called the City Series, not the team series.
But the team
Yes,
is
they're
not
the
the
Indiana
Indianapolis
Pacers.
Pacers. They're the Indiana.
But it's the City Series. It's legitimately
Well,
called the
they
City
sh-
Series.
They
Indy is the
shouldn't even
city.
be in it if they're not even in a city. They're in a state.
And they are in a city. They're in Indianapolis. If they were the
But
Fort
they're
Wayne
not
Mad
the
Ants,
Indianapolis Pacers. They're
it
the
doesn't matter.
Indiana-
It's about the city they are in, Chris. If
No,
they were
it's
they
not.
yes, that's what this tournament's about. It's not about the team. It's about the city. If they were in the Indiana Pacers and they were in Fort Wayne, they would probably put Fort Wayne on the floor.
Well, they would be, but they're not. They're They're Indiana Pacers, not Indianapolis Pacers.
But
I
it's
don't
the
make up
City
these
Series,
I don't
not
make up these rules. I'm just saying they're the Indiana Pacers, and
yeah.
Indy
They're the
is
Indiana
short-
Pacers. They're the
Indy
Indiana
is short for
Pacers, but it's the
Indianapolis.
City Series. It's the City Series,
Yeah,
Chris. It's about the
Indy is
city,
not
not the
short
dumb
for
state they're in.
Indiana. Where are you going to Indy? If I say I'm going to Indy, you know exactly where I'm going. If I'm
Yeah,
going
you're
to,
going to
if
you're
I'm
going
in,
to
if I'm in
Indianapolis,
Tex-
Fishers, Carmel,
if
Greenfield,
I'm in Texas, I'm
Westfield.
not going to say, oh, if I say I have family in Indy, oh, they live in Indianapolis. Oh no, they live in Bloomington. Well, that's not Indy. That's Indiana.
Mikey, I can't talk to him. Please help me. You get what I'm saying, right? That is the
makes no
City
sense.
Series.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Okay, see, Mikey gets it.
It's like what did the Colts call their uniforms? Their new ones. What, Indiana Knights?
They look like the Brady Bunch, is what they look like.
Yeah, so they called theirs the Indiana Knights, even though they're the Indianapolis Colts. Like,
No, what
Same
was
difference.
the name of those stupid uniforms that look like the Duke?
The
what?
Color Rush.
No, not Color Rush.
I love Color Rush jerseys.
Yeah.
I know I'm in the minority, but I love the Pacers jerseys, the Hickory jerseys.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Indiana
like-
Knights alternative. That's what they're called. They're called Indiana Knights.
Yeah, Indiana.
I don't
But
get
they're
Not
the
not
the
whole
famous
Knights.
for
Indianapolis Knights.
But they're not
Why
the
are
Indy Colts.
Why are they called the Knights?
Because they're
No, it's not like
they should have
medieval
guns
nights.
on the side.
The dark nighttime. Time of the day.
Because they're dark.
You know what happens at nighttime in Indianapolis? You either get shot or you're in bed.
Freaks come out at night. dude, like 20 people got shot in Indianapolis in a week, and it didn't even make the headline. It's not even safe for them. But just on yourself while you're going to a game. I don't know. I don't know why that's the Indiana.
That's dumb. Anyways, anybody got anything else or hitting the time?
What?
Anybody got anything else for hitting time? Oh, I wanted to bring up one more thing. So Kimberly on Monday? Yeah, Monday. Her school does like a little live stream / podcast talking about, what's going around, for like parents and families, like sports and stuff. So that's that picture I sent.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, this is a nice setup and then there's like a podcast setup. I was like, this is what we need.
Well, we're not in person.
Well, if we ever are in person, that's what we need. We need those cameras. We need that whole setup. We need the couch.
The editor, the producer.
Hey,
we can do that ourselves.
Yeah, we can do that ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Or we can hire somebody once we
We can figure that out. That's what they have.
I've taught myself a lot of things.
It ain't hard to edit that shit together.
No, it ain't that. As somebody who has had to edit episodes because one thing or the other, it's not the hardest to edit it. It's hard to edit great, but for our purposes, because we know we're bad and that's we suck. That's our thing. That's our thing.
I think if we did, but here's the thing: if you edit a video of it, the audio's already there that you edited together. So you only have to edit once. You just have to, you know what I mean? You just have to take the audio and post it because it's already done.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
No, but it was really cool being in more professional setup. It was really cool seeing that. It kind of gave me some. It reinvigorated me a little bit.
Don't live freaking 2 hours away, Kris. Maybe we can do this.
Well, that might change at some point. We don't know. Oh no.
Oh no.
I might live 5 hours away.
I mean, this is true. Well, that's where Skype comes in. We can video it off of.
We can put a green screen up. I can be in there in the studio with you guys.
We could. I mean,
Just don't wear a green shirt, or I will have some fun.
Floating head. That would be awesome. No, I've got nothing.
I'm going to the casino Friday, so wish me luck.
Which
Oh,
casino?
good luck, Mikey.
I don't know. I think it's the one down south.
Oh, the one
in Anderson?
Ohio?
Probably. I don't know.
Well, don't take more than I know you know this. Don't take more than you're willing to lose.
Yeah, don't be like Clark Griswold and his house.
I'm gonna be like his son and get like 4 cars.
Right.
I put what do you say? I put the coin in and I won a car. I put the coin or whatever. I don't know what he said.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't see that movie.
Papa Giorgio.
Yeah. It was like I put a coin in, I won a car. I put a coin in, I won a car. Put a coin in, I won a car.
Yeah, just be Nick Papa Giorgio.
Yeah.
I need to watch. It's time. I hate to say it, but it's time to start watching Christmas movies.
No.
We got our tree.
We got our Christmas stuff out already.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was holding it down until we got to do after Thanksgiving, and then I gave in.
Yeah.
Kris is gonna pour one out for his homies.
What?
I said you're gonna pour one out for the homies.
Did you see that what I posted on Facebook about Christmas?
No.
It's from a movie. It's from which one's? It's from this old movie, and she's like, "Oh, every time I see snow, I think of Christmas." Is it? And he's like, she's like, "Oh, I love it when it's snowing. I never felt so much like Christmas before in my life. Don't you feel the same way?" He's like, "Shut your dirty little face." That's me. At least until the day after.
I already want to watch The Grinch. I almost played
Oh,
or I almost
dude,
watched
there's Thanksgiving movies to
the
watch, though, dude.
no, there ain't. There are no
Yes,
Thanksgiving
There are
movies.
at least 2.
What? I'm gonna go watch a bunch of westerns.
No.
You know, I'm gonna watch
No.
the Duke shoot a bunch of Indians.
Son-in-Law is one of them with Pauly Shore. And the other one is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is legendary. Legendary. Steve Martin in that late is the best Thanksgiving movie in the history of Thanksgiving movies. And I think technically Miracle on 34th Street is a Thanksgiving movie too, because it starts on Thanksgiving Day with the Macy's Day Parade. So there you go. So you could at least watch those 2 before you start breaking out that Hallmark shit.
Nah.
And like I posted on Facebook, those people that start watching Christmas movies in October, we're like the same people with me starting to watch old indie films.
Spider-Man is the first Spider-Man movie is a Thanksgiving movie because it takes place then.
There you go. Watch Spider-Man.
Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving, The
love Charlie.
Blind Side.
What else?
Four Brothers. That's a great movie, honestly.
Is that the one with Marky Mark?
Yeah. Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Oh, I like Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Beethoven. I forgot about Beethoven.
Art Tuppen. Sorry, that's a West thing.
Anyways.
What else? Son-in-Law. Son-in-Law.
Jack and Jill.
That
What
movie's
a
horrible.
shitty movie.
No, Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore. They go home on Thanksgiving break to her family as a farmer. So you got to count that.
Rocky.
Well, that kind of expands over time. That's like saying Lethal Weapon's a Christmas movie.
It is because it takes place. There's
At
a
Christmas.
scene.
It does
And
take place.
and just like the Harry Potter movies, because they all have a Christmas scene.
Pon.
Anyways, thank you for listening to another episode of Hoosier Nerds Podcast. You can catch us on X. You can catch us on. Shut up. You can catch us on X. At Pod Nerds. Except for I'm not even gonna say anymore. Y'all know I'm banned. So I haven't argued. I haven't tried to argue myself back. Cause I'm not really.
That's the only place you get like real news that like is like real.
I know. I don't know how to argue it. Like I've been it's pushing like 4 months now. I don't know how to. I don't remember even why I got banned. Like I don't remember which post it was.
So
I know
so make a new Twitter handle.
They banned my IP on my phone.
Oh really? Like you can't get it on your phone. That's how they did it. You can't sign up because they banned your phone, basically.
Yeah, hold on. I can still get like on my old account, but let me see. It tells me. While I'm trying,
you can't post.
Yeah, I can't. It doesn't even let me read. Like like I didn't have the limits. You know how you can only see so many posts. It only lets me see like 100 posts, and then it limits me on my personal account.
So you're like super limited.
Yeah, it's not even load. Oh, hold on. After careful review, we determined your account broke X rules. Your account permanently is read-only mode, which means you can't post, repost, or like content. You won't be able to create new accounts. If you think we got this wrong, you can submit an appeal.
Did you appeal?
I appealed it once, and as you can tell, I'm not unbanned yet. I'll try to appeal again. Maybe I'll have a ChatGPT write me an appeal. You can catch us at Hoosier Nerds on Facebook. You can watch and listen to us on YouTube and your favorite podcasting sites: iTunes, TuneIn,
That's
Spotify,
Give it to me.
and Amazon.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Whose
Yeah.
eye our nerds are.